Purchase.
Hi. How are you? Good to see you.
What's up? Let's look at this way. It's fine. All set? Okay, for another exciting meeting. We will begin. Welcome to the Coastside Fire Protection District Board of Directors Special Board Meeting, December 17th, 2025. Roll call, please, Gene.
Gene, I muted your.
Sorry. Good afternoon, Board Member Cockrell.
Here.
Hannah.
Yes, here.
McKimmie.
Here.
Cheryl. And President Burke.
Here, yes. Please join me, the president. Would you lead? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would now open the public comment period. If any members of the public are here would like to speak, please do so. Please use the podium. I know that you'd like to, Jim. Please. Just identify yourself, please.
My name is Jim Sayre, and I'm a resident of Montera. And I'm here today to address the fire risk of the Caltrans right-of-way in Montera. I'm sure you're familiar with that right-of-way. It's been around for quite some time, but it's a 100-acre area, which is mostly mature forest, overgrown, and poses quite a fire risk. I'm a member of the Red Alert Montera Moss Beach organization. This is a citizens group and has over 125 participants. And our goal is simple: to mitigate the fire risk along the right-of-way, which is currently owned by Caltrans. There's a member in our group who likes to say, you get the government you deserve. And that's why I'm here today. I'd like to let you know that we push forward with very broad awareness of the issue. But we're at a point in time right now where we could use further support, further validation of the risk being posed by the absence of mitigation in the right of way. So what I'll do is three things. One, point out the risk, give you an update on where we stand with the events, and finally make a request to how CFPT can play a supporting sponsorship role in the right-of-way situation. I'm sorry. So we're on page 3 right now. So this is all information you know. The right-of-way is in CPFD. CFPB District A. It's has both local and state responsibility area, and as of February, 90% of the right of way was declared very high very high fire hazard area per CAL FIRE. Secondly, the fire risk posed by the right of way wasn't inherited by Caltrans when they took over the property back in the 1970s. As you can see from this photo, time series photo, the area on the upper left, the photo on the upper left compared to the photo on the upper right shows the duration in which Caltrans has been the owner of the property, and there's been quite a spread of canopy and underbrush during the area. So there are three elements of risk that I'd like to highlight in regards to the right-of-way fire situation. The first risk is the safety of our community members and their homes. Many of the homes adjacent to the right-of-way do not have a defensible space that keeps them safe. But equally important, if you wade into the right-of-way in many areas, you wade in 30 feet, you're waist deep, even chest deep high in debris. And that debris can start a ground fire, give rise to fire running up the large mature blue gum eucalyptus, where it reaches the top of the canopy and spreads by wind, resulting in a next slide, a situation where the right-of-way could really be the spark that could run from north to south along the entire coast side and pose quite a fire disaster situation for all of us. The second area of risk is our public utility situation. Montara Water and Sanitary District has its major well at the Alta Vista tank, and the main line runs right through the right-of-way. And if there were a fire, you would have the access to this main line mitigated or disrupted. And secondly, you'd have a great amount of groundwater contaminated as a result of the fire, which would render both the public wells, but also the private wells inoperable. Now, the next page, or there's a third issue I'd like to cite, our third risk issue, which is the issue of evacuation. Montara is a small community. You can exit most of the community through Sunshine Valley Road or George / 3rd Avenue. That brings you onto Highway 1. And all of us have been on Highway 1 during a school day between 7:30 and 8:30, and you know the congestion and the impact of an evacuation situation. It could be really disastrous for the community in terms of trying to respond to a wildfire type of situation. So those are some of the risks that as a citizens group we're chiefly concerned about. And today I'm absolutely not here to tell you what is appropriate or inappropriate for CFPB to do, but we're in a situation right now where we have the support of several elected officials, but we're being repeatedly asked for validation in writing of the risk posed by the right-of-way. And we've had numerous discussions with various different folks from the fire department and other areas who have verbally agreed with us about the risk, but today we're lacking a situation where, or we're lacking the documentation of the real risk posed by the right of way, that documentation being in writing. So to wrap this up, what our request would be, and I know that President Burke has been working along with CAL FIRE officials on this, but we would like to have the right-of-way issue put on the agenda as a future business item, or put on as a business item at one of the future board meetings. So we can really vet, we can explore, we can discuss, we can come up with creative ways for CFPD to continue to support and help our community move forward in mitigating this fire risk. Appreciate your time and attention today, and thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. The one that Jim mentioned, I had met with he and one of his other counterparts in the past too. And although this is another agenda item and we're not going to discuss it here, but as I explained to him, wildfires on the coast, certainly it is a major issue to us. I don't care whether it's in the row or where it is to all the citizens, certainly to the members of this board. The difficulty we have, as I've mentioned here, I think I've mentioned here before, is that we have no responsibility or authority in the role. And so us to be looked upon as a leader in this is kind of awkward. There's a letter that I think is in our packet that we sent to the state fire marshal and to Caltrans regarding our support for doing something and addressing the problem. But at this point, that's where we stand. And if I suspect we may have this back on the agenda in a future time as requested under the heading of CAL FIRE. But at this point, there's certainly no action that we're capable of taking that I'm aware of. Okay, we have we have another person who would like to address the public. Steve,
You want to make a comment?
Well, I was gonna piggyback on what he said, but are you also?
No, I'm on a different subject, so.
Shall I go first?
Sure.
Okay. He didn't know I was gonna say anything, but it reminded me of something. Sitting on Moss Beach, I'm a retired realtor, but I have a lot of concerns about what's called a regional housing needs assessment. I don't know if you guys know what it's called, what it is, but every 7 years, they give new assignments to every municipality to boost up housing elements. And they tell each municipality, like a city or in this case, the county, what housing numbers they have to come up with to make new assessments of the housing needs. And Pacifica has been giving an awesome number. They are being told to, put up numbers at Seaball, at the, I don't know if you know where those places are, but it's this bowling alley, the old bowling alley at Fassler Avenue. And then the new, there's a quarry at Valimar. When you drive north, you can't miss those places. There'll be choke points for anybody trying to evacuate out of the coast side. And also, we have to go through the tunnel if we have to evacuate out of here. And they're going to be building and building like crazy in Pacifica. And don't forget the 72 units in Mid-Penn housing, which we all know that's going to be packed with cars as soon as they build it. There's also, they just announced that the CUSD, vacant parcel in El Granada. They want to make that a upzoned property, which is there's a vacant piece of land in El Granada. It's a big parcel, and they want to make that multiple units. So all of these vacant land that's been sitting there forever, they want to start building on it and building dense housing. So we have to think about the future. And when Scott Wiener gets done making all these really high density housing projects, we will have no way to get out of here. So that's something we have to think about. And, obviously we are already thinking about it because we're building more fire stations, but we're going to be trapped. It's a choke point already going through Devil's Slide, and on weekends, forget about it. But anyway, the RHNA, RHNA, Regional Housing Needs Assessment, is going up every year. And they do it every 7 years. I think here in Half Moon Bay, they're going to put a big complex on Metzger Street. They're every place. So I know you don't want to be part of it, but you will be. Because you'll have to approve those projects and you'll have to think about putting fires out in those projects. Thank you.
So thank you very much for the notice and the warning to us as well.
Yeah.
Do we have another member of the public who would like to speak? Steve?
Let me go first.
Here. Oh, I'm sorry.
Are we allowed to make comments on speakers or do we hold that?
I'm sorry.
Are we allowed to make comments on what is
Yeah,
presented?
not really, but don't just, let's not debate it, okay? But go ahead, Seth, go ahead. Seth.
I am concerned about the Montero situation.
Oh, I'm sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I would like to find an avenue, although I understand that we don't have any direct ability to remedy this situation. For us to keep it at the forefront of our attention and whatever else we can do, because we're the ones that are gonna have to put out that fire
Yeah,
if it goes off.
Yeah.
So, how do we do that? Do we request that it become an agenda item month to month? And we track whatever progress is made by any agency?
well, we certainly can put on the agenda. And we have an item on the agenda to discuss wildfire in general today.
Yes.
Out of that particular line item, there may be suggestions of what we would, future steps to take,
Okay,
okay?
future steps to take, that would be good, and that would give us a platform to appear on future agenda items.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
I think your point is well made. Should there be a fire, I guess who gets to clean up the
Yeah,
mess.
we have an outstanding fire marshal here and the
Yes.
chiefs are very involved in this and very aware of the situation here in the coastside. So things that we can do, that we have the authority to do, that we can influence in any way, I think we're all 100% behind it.
For example,
Yeah.
for example, January 1, the hazard mitigation maps. New regulations will come in having to do with zone 0, but also having to do with the other steps out from. From housing, all the way to 100 feet, 100 yards, 100 feet. So. And we are talking about the number of properties which then will qualify for us to come and inspect. And it's a very large number of properties, 4,000 or so. So is there any way to say, because of the concerns for this, we could elevate the properties that are adjacent to this Caltrans tract to the top of that list and they could be inspected first?
I would just ask Cynthia, that would be a question we would put on a future agenda to
Okay.
discuss.
Very good.
I think your point's well taken. Okay. Further member of public comments, please.
Steve Stockman from El Granada. I'm not speaking to that topic. I'm speaking to an agendized topic though, and it's for the election of officers. And is anybody gonna guess what I'm going to say? By the things I've said in the past, so, but there has been I'm gonna approach it a different way this time. I'm not aware of other agencies that have held kind of the structure of a board this long, either locally or regionally, so. But with that said, let me be clear, as I believe this board, and I know this board is very efficient and very productive in the way that it's structured right now. So it's not any comment about it being different that way. And it's certainly not any comment regarding the board president, because I think in just this meeting right now, you can see the role that President Burke plays and the leadership he provides to this board and his community. My concern more is about the board as a city body being unprepared for change. And so that's where my suggestion will be when you make your votes today. There might be a different way to approach this, because on the time that I sat on the board, I felt that I really wouldn't be in a position to do the job as well as the board president. And that's because I didn't have, and I think other directors, you'll have to answer for yourself, but whether you had enough experience, especially as it relates to what the board president is doing in his position, to step into his role and do that effectively. And I actually don't even know all the things that President Burke does each month to prepare in his role, in his work with staff. But maybe it could be a shift into some level of mentorship and shadowing that the directors on the board, however that goes, monthly or quarterly, work with the board president to sit into some of these conversations that he has with the fire chief, or conversations he has at staff, or just communicating from the board president to you as directors on ways that are going to strengthen your sense of what your board president does. So when the time does come, I don't want to ever see this board and this community in a position to where we've got to fill President Burke's leadership spot. You know, I want that to be like most government agencies. There's somebody in that position that's good. It's going to take them a while to come up to speed, but they've got the skills to step into that. So that is what I've got to say today. And I very much appreciate what you do. I think you all know that. And we'll see what discussion that leads to. So thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Any other members of the public would like to speak? Hearing none, first of all, we'll move on. Yeah, we'll move on to the consent calendar. Greg McKinney is asked to be recused. I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar. Do we have a second? Moved and seconded. Roll call, please, Jean.
Board Member Cockrell,
Yes.
Board Member Hannah,
Yes.
Board Member Cheryl, and President Burke.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0, 1 recused.
Thank you, Jean. And now with the board's permission, I'm going to just change the agenda a little bit. I'm going to ask if we can consider the election of board members and committee members at this point rather than putting it off to the end. And if there's no objections, we'll do that. And what I will do first is ask for nominations for the president of the board.
I'd like to nominate Gary Burke.
Moved. I'm sorry.
We need a second on that, or
Yes.
second?
Moved and second. Are there other nominations for president of the board?
Is there any room to have a discussion kind of into what Steve Stockman
Go ahead.
exposed, and then something that I brought up and I think others have thought about as well? Which is dutifully prudent to have somewhat of a succession plan. And have experienced board members by having them engaged in a different role over time. I don't know what that means or what it looks like today, whether it's discussed, at least I have brought up potential rotating scenario. Obviously, the president of the board or the VP of the board or the other directors all have the same voting power. There's no real difference there. The majority of it, from what I understand, is more to do with agenda setting potentially and or running the actual meeting in an appropriate and effective manner. That's primarily the role that I understand that, but there's probably things that I don't know. And I mirror a little bit of what Mr. Stockman just said, which I know we've discussed before. So I don't know if anyone else here feels like there is some room for discussion to do something that would take the entire board to decide, again, whether it's let's do a rotation that is not based on necessarily a popularity vote, or something that would just get people, and that's for everything, right? I would say not just board director, president, but maybe the committees, have some rotation as well. And that's gonna maybe take longer than we have time for today. So I would almost even suggest we postpone and have a discussion about it, unless you would like to all discuss this matter in depth today. But that's how I feel. Does anyone else share these feelings? I don't know.
Let me, before we take a vote, let me, there are no other nominations, but let me just make a couple of comments. It is certainly true that in public boards, there is a normal rotation. This board used to do that. We had a couple of incidents during that period of time that caused some problems. And we've since not been doing the rotation. It's typical, but a lot of my background in boards is on public or private boards. The president or the CEO stays there until he or she does something wrong, and then they're ousted, if you will. So there's a sided difference. I've actually been on both sides of those to do it. I have no ego in this thing whatsoever to get something done. I assure you that the president of this board is paid the same as every other member of this board to do this type of thing. The duties of the president as described in our bylaws of the thing is, number one, you have some input to the agenda, what it is to make sure that it's appropriate to do that type of thing. You run the meetings, if you will, so there's no fighting going on and hopefully going on. And you sign documents. And that's it. There is no other power to do anything that is the president has that any member of this board has. You tend to get probably more telephone calls and so forth or things, but as far as any power to do anything, I mean, it is zero, just exactly what I said. Enough for the editorial. Okay. The other well, I'll leave it at that. Let's just get back to the election, if we will, here. I think we have a nomination, a second, a nomination, a second. Roll call, please, Gene.
Board Member Cockrell,
Since there's only one nomination, I moved that Gary Burke be elected by acclamation.
Yeah.
Board Member Hannah,
Who is that? You see?
Board Member Hannah,
Yeah. Yes or no?
JB, did she hear you?
I'm not sure she did.
I did,
Yeah, Chief, please, Gene.
I did hear you, but we do have a motion pending on the floor. I know there's only one nominee, but this would give everyone the opportunity to express their opinion. And so I was going to call all board members if that is appropriate.
Please read the motion if you would for me.
The motion was to nominate President Burke to serve another year, and it was seconded by Board Member McKimmey.
Okay. Okay, take a look then. I got it then. Okay.
So Board Member
Okay.
Cockrell,
Yes.
Board Member Hannah,
Again, I would wish there would do this postpone, but have some thoughts. That's not, I'll answer my vote, so I guess no.
Board Member McKimmey,
Yes.
Board Member Cheryl,
Yes.
President Burke.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-1.
By the way, our bylaws do say that we do the election in December on that. The next item for election would be the vice president, and I nominate J.D. Cockrell.
I'll second it.
Any other nominations?
Nominate Cynthia Sharp. Cynthia Sharp.
Okay, we're through nominations, all right. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. We'll take two votes then to do it. I think Gene can help me on this. The first vote is how many is the voting on J.B. Cockrell.
President Burke, you could do it one of two ways. You could do two separate votes, or you could do one vote where everyone just expresses the person they are voting for, and that would take one vote then. I'll conduct it either way you'd like.
We'll take one vote. Please call the names.
Okay, so Board Member Cockrell, please state who you are voting for.
Well, I guess I'll vote for Cockrell.
Board Member Hannah,
Yes, vote for Cynthia Cheryl.
Board Member McKimmy,
Yes, vote for Cockrell.
Board Member Cheryl,
Vote for Cockrell.
President Burke.
Mr. Cockrell.
Passes 4-1 for Director Cockrell.
Thank you. Let me, now, rather than going through all the committee member things, I have one change I'd like to make and recommend to the board. But we, unlike the board officers or the board members, we can change committee members anytime during the year. And if any, member of a committee would like to change to another committee doing so, please let me know or make it known on the agenda. But otherwise, I would just leave everybody in their same position. I know that unless somebody has some desire to make a change. Then let's leave it the same position, and if in subsequent meetings you'd like to have a new committee or change committees and so forth, please let me know and we'll put it on the agenda and vote for it, all right? Okay, now, having said that, I'm gonna ask on the committee, if I get the right name, the Land and Structures Committee. Let me preface this by saying, when we finally accepted Station 41, we found that we had a lot of minor issues and problems with that to accept it. There were, I think, well over 100 things that had to be looked at and changed that we expected were completed and done correctly. In order to try another experienced eye on the board that would take a look at that, I'd like to ask Director McKinney, as part of his position on the current committee, to give a monthly update to the board on what his opinion. By the way, he has a background in construction. And that would help us immensely to give us his perspective on where we stand, what needs to be done, and so forth. And Bruce, if you'd agree to do that, add that to your duties on the commission, on the committee, I think we would be very appreciative.
I will do that.
Bruce lives about 3 doors away from the station. That's in question, which helps.
Yes.
Okay. We're there?
Yes.
Back to the agenda then, continuing business, item 6. Excuse me, did the member of the public have, yes, it's it.
Can I just ask you a question, Gary? I really think you're a great steward. But I wanted to ask if you would have any problem mentoring some people that might want to come up and learn what you do, because, succession is important, and to grow the board and learn the process, somebody's got to learn it.
If somebody has 15 minutes, I could give them all.
You think it only would take?
The answer is yes, but you're I think over-characterizing my ability to do anything.
Well, I think you do really good with the financials, but I would be lost if somebody said, here, you
The answer is yes.
Okay.
All right, going back to the agenda, continue business, item 6, Community Facilities District number 39, Big Wave, Chief Wilson.
All right, so this is continuing from last meeting, as we had not received the ballot from Big Wave for the formation of the Community Facility District 39. So first item of business is opening the ballot to see the vote. And we have a yes vote, so we will move to item 2, which is for a motion to adopt resolution number 2025-56. This resolution declaring the results of the special election and directing recording of notice of special tax lien.
Do I have a motion for 2025-56?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further comments? Roll call, please. Roll call, please, Jean.
Board Member Cockrell,
Yes.
Board Member Hannah,
Yes.
Board Member McKimmy,
Yes.
Board Member Cheryl,
Yes.
President Burke.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, so that leads us to item 3 of continuing business number 6, which is a motion to adopt ordinance number 2025-04. This is the ordinance levying special taxes within the Community Service Facilities District number 39.
Do I have a motion on ordinance number 22504?
So moved.
Second,
Moving second, any comments, questions? Roll call, please, Gene.
Board Member Cockrell,
yes.
Board Member Hannah,
Yes.
Board Member McKinney,
Yes.
Board Member Cheryl,
Yes.
President Burke.
Yes,
Motion passes 5-0.
thank you. Moving on to new business, item A. Review staff report on mobile equipment replacement plan. Chief West.
Right, thank you, President Burke, members of the board. At your request, I provided a staff report to provide you guys with an update on our mobile equipment replacement plan. For the background, this plan was last updated in 2022. Minor adjustments were made from the plan that was adopted originally last in 2020. That included adjusting life cycles of vehicles based on NFPA guidelines and a recommendation that was presented to order one additional Type 1 fire engine. These updates were needed to address ongoing global supply chain issues, expanded lead times for delivery of new apparatus, significant cost increase for these new apparatus, and mechanical reliability of existing fleet apparatus. So from fiscal year 21-22 until last fiscal year, here's a summary of what was identified in the equipment replacement plan, and ultimately we did complete. We've purchased 2 staff vehicles, 1 command vehicle, 1 station utility vehicle, 1 emergency response vehicle. We have ordered and received the new Type 1 fire engine that's now in service as engine 40. And we ordered 1 Type 3 fire engine that is expected to be completed in this upcoming summer in 2026. What's existing still on the current replacement plan, we're still looking to, in the next 5 years, to purchase 1 additional command vehicle, 1 Type 6 fire engine. We're considering a water tender purchase, 2 staff vehicles. I'm sorry, a total of 3 staff vehicles. And then in fiscal year 2029, 2 additional command vehicles for the battalion chiefs. In summary, with the recent delivery of new engine 40, we now have a reliable and modern fleet of frontline and reserve large fire apparatus. And with what we have on order for the Type 6 plan for this year, and if we move forward with the water tender, that would complete large apparatus purchases until about the mid-2030s. And then all we would need to purchase for the near future would be staff and maybe a couple of command vehicles. So that would be my review of the current.
Thank you. Comments?
Does the equipment was included in the spring because something down?
It does, but well, I mean, that's on the list, but that's not included in this.
One of the reasons I just thought it would be interesting to have a little discussion on this is that first of all, it takes to get the last few fire engines, it took us years to get it. Literally, I think before we get the 3 new ones.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's still the same.
We're still right around 40 to 48 months.
How many?
40 to 48 months. Yeah, those numbers are starting to come down. They peaked at 52 months.
Wow.
But they are starting to come down because the main manufacturers have increased the production capacity, but the demand is still there. So there's, they are coming down, but they're still, I would say, a solid 3 years. If we ordered another fire engine, it'd take about 2 years.
And I believe we have a life of an engine or any other vehicle that we base it on mileage or years or something like that.
Yes. Yeah. So, fire engines typically have 10 years frontline and then typically a 10-year reserve status. The specialty vehicles like the Rescue and the Quint are replaced every 15 years. Command and staff vehicles are 7 to 8 years or like 150,000 miles, depending upon usage.
Yeah. The only other
comment I made is that, you know, in just getting some idea of what we're facing financially, because a new engine is $1.5 million.
It's 1 million, about 1.1 million for a fire engine.
But, you know, that we don't have, run into any kind of a financial bind, if you will, in anticipation, and we don't have the money to do it. And this gives us a little bit better idea, and quite honestly, I think from time to time, I'd like to see an update on this as to where we stand and what we'd appreciate, intend to have a financial obligations, but that does it. Any comments, questions?
Just have a question, if, you know, God forbid, there should be an accident and one of our major engines were taken out,
Mhm.
do we then bring up a volunteer engine? Do we, how would we replace something that we don't have free and then have 4 years to wait for?
That's why we maintain the reserve fleet.
Okay.
So we currently have the 3 Type 1 engines that were replaced with the new purchases. Those are now solid, reliable reserves.
Okay,
The idea, part of the update of this, you know, we when we were going to place the order for that last Type 1 engine, the thought before we placed that order was that we would then surplus one of our existing fire engines that would go into reserve, just surplus it, sell it, with the thought that you bring up, and with just ongoing mechanical issues and overall reliability of the apparatus, we've now kind of shifted to an idea that we're not going to be so quick to sell a fire engine that's still reliable. So we're going to maintain that fleet with all 3 of the 2011 purchased engines.
So, sorry, did
I'm gonna.
okay. How many reserve engines do we have in the district?
Right now, there's 3.
That's what.
Those are the 3 Type 1s.
So every front line has reserve line, so to
Correct.
speak. Okay.
Yeah, and one of them are designated as the primary response fire engine for the Coastside Volunteers, but it is still a district reserve. So if all the other vehicles were in the shop, then we would pull that and use it frontline. We also, our model includes if fire engine 41 has to go in the shop, we will run the Quint first out, which kind of gives a little bit of relief on the availability of our reserve apparatus as well.
Any question?
Well, it's more of a suggestion. We don't have right now a water tender at all, right?
We do not. It's on our agenda this evening.
My suggestion is try to get Caltrans to kick in a little bit of money for that, because if we're taking over.
Yeah.
Well, you don't know, and also we could get some of our officials like Sam Licardo or Senator Becker or somebody to try to get money for us. And also, I remember the LAFCO Municipal Services Review, they wanted to have you guys extend your border all the way up to Devil's Slide. So maybe they should like consider donating some money for that, because you didn't have to say yes. That's expanding your responsibility area. And we're not being compensated for it necessarily, right?
That's right.
So ask for some
Thank-
help.
Good
That's
suggestion.
all. Anyway.
Yeah, okay, the chief mentioned in his comments on the report here that we have a modern, reliable fleet of frontline and reserve fire engines, which I believe is certainly true from doing it. But I don't think you have to go back very far. Our fleet of engines was very shaky, to say the least. And certainly a fire department that needs to have very modern equipment, and the chiefs have done a great job in making sure that we replace them and keep them up to date. So thank you again. Thank you for the report. Anything else? No? Moving on to, here, good timing.
All right.
Discuss purchasing of the water tender. Chief West.
All right. Also at the request of the board for earlier in the year, I prepared a staff report to review, discuss, and ask for your direction to us on the consideration of purchasing a water tender for the Coastside Fire District. So I'm just going to read the background. As seen in recent history, there are inherent vulnerabilities that can arise, resulting in the failure of municipal water distribution systems during large-scale conflagrations. In addition to the vulnerabilities in municipal systems, there are many challenges associated with reliable water source in rural or wildland urban interface areas. The main communities protected by the Coastside Fire Protection District are served by municipal water distribution systems. However, there is a large portion of the district that is considered rural, agricultural, or part of the WUI, and has limited water supplies available for fire department use. Purchasing a water tender will increase the operational capabilities of the service delivered by the Coastside Fire Protection District by increasing the amount of water that we are able to bring in response to emergency incidents. Adding water tender operations can help to ensure a reliable source of water needed to suppress fires located in areas that do not have a reliable water source readily available. Coastside Water Tender will greatly increase the capabilities of the countywide water tender group that is automatically dispatched to predetermined call types in the areas of low water availability, and it will allow us to ensure that we have additional water available in times when the water tender group response is delayed or unavailable. Water tenders are highly customizable to fit the needs of the response area that it serves. The typical water tender storage options range from 2,000 to 3,000 gallons of water and provides storage for fire hose and other firefighting tools and equipment. Staff is requesting direction from the board on providing either further justification or moving forward with proposing the purchase of a water tender for the Coastside Fire Protection District with an estimated budget of $750,000.
Thank you, Chief.
Also of note, the approved 25-26 budget accounts for the ability to purchase a water tender.
Thank you. The question I have is, does it take 4 or 5 years to get a water tender?
Water tenders, they are customizable, but they're not a highly customized product like the Type 1 fire engines. We would be looking to purchase a water tender from Pierce Manufacturing, the same as the rest of our fleet. They produce those vehicles in Bradenton, Florida. And they also provide for stock options, which means that periodically throughout the year, they just build water tenders to a basic specification. And we would have the ability to consider purchase one of those and make some customizations to fit our needs. And typical timeline for that model is about 6 to 9 months as the fastest. I would say realistically a year to a year and a half.
One other question that I have, what do we pay when we order it or when we receive it?
In past practice, the Coastside Fire Protection District has always prepaid for these large fire apparatus because it does provide
a discount.
It does provide a discount. However, one thing to take into consideration as a change in practice is that discount may be $30,000 to $40,000. But if it takes 4 years to build a $1 million fire engine, you may gain more money in interest leaving that and paying on delivery. So that's something to take into consideration for future purchases.
I would say, what would staff recommend the capacity be? 2,000, 3,000?
I think the current we would engage our apparatus committee to really have serious discussions about this. The leading thought right now would be about 2,200 gallons to make a more tactical platform that's more maneuverable to get into some.
Would that be a three axle vehicle?
The 3,000 gallon water tenders are the 3-axle vehicles, and so in the county, the water tender in La Honda has 3 axles, and that's 3,000 gallons. The other water tenders are about 2,000 to 2,200. Our leading thought, just answering your question right at this moment, would be about the 2,200 to 2-axle version.
And that would be strong enough to get up Elginata Boulevard and
Yeah.
in a timely fashion.
Yeah.
It seems to me as they build more houses in some rather, for one different words, in some sketchy areas, where technically they have water, but they might not, or a real emergency. So it seems to me that having our own water we can bring with us would make a lot of sense. I think in some areas, maybe.
Right. But
Especially you don't have any water.
even the airport, the closest hydrants on the airstrip are at the highway.
Yeah.
So there's even in areas that you think might not have a need for a water tender actually do have a need.
Yeah. Thank you.
Questions?
I mean, I just have some questions in regards, I don't see them answered per se in the report here in front of us, but more specific to details on what impact it would have for us as a district, what the needs are, how often we, and I guess looking at history is not always the future. You want to get to some information on what the need would be for an apparatus such as this one. How many instances have we had where that would make a difference? And then what is in the area currently that would come to support that scenario anyways, whether it's out of Honduras, so there's demand for existing tenders. So to be prudent with the cash flow of the district, that is, and I'm all for new and top-of-the-line equipment, but I would like to at least understand how much of an impact it would have for us in the district versus what would happen without it in the future. You know, what does it look like right now with the mutual aid of water tenders? Just kind of more into the details of that would be important to me to understand, to just, you know, kind of question, you know, we've got a lot of expenses.
But you're supporting the purchase of it?
I don't have an answer for that yet, because I don't have all the information. I feel like it's valuable for us to know
Comments?
what the need is.
But I'll make it just a comment, you know, I'd be delighted if we got a water tender here, we never used it. It'd be terrific. But on the other hand, to have something, a need for it, we didn't have it, I think would be the worst thing that happened to us. I know the financial aspects of it are, I think we can handle it to get to that point. I would make a motion, and I'll try to get a little vague on this, but make a motion to ask the chief and staff to take all the necessary steps to prepare a somewhat better detailed proposal via water tender, or order a water tender to do it. So, and then that would be brought before us for a final vote as to when we would actually vote on it. So that's a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
I would just say that can we please at least at that time have some more of the information that
Sure.
is valuable to all of us.
Sure.
Yes.
I wasn't clear, you know, it includes like, you know, I agree with you, when we need one, you know, we need one,
Yeah.
right? You don't want to have yourself in a situation where that's not there, but when we need one currently, there is mutual aid that occurs and it happens, you know, in pretty clockwise format. So maybe seeing, doesn't have to be against direct example, but your experience and your expertise of this was a situation you probably did need one and didn't have something coming from other areas or whatnot. So we're just to show the gaps, so it makes sense to buy this apparatus.
I think one thing to look at is mutually they make a valid point. It happens frequently. I'll be fired in Ontario and people from far away, certain cities, I know it happens. The problem comes if you have the need for water tender in more than one place at the same time. Now, the other side of the question is, what would be the upside of not getting one? And what would be the recommendation for the board to not get water tender? Assuming we have the money, make the assumption we have the money. But that, you know, I think we should answer that question also, you know.
I think we all would support doing it, but getting more information, details is fine. I mean, that's appropriate, and we're aboard, we should take those kind of questions, okay? Question?
I just want to ask a naive question. Okay, so I don't fight fires, but let's say there's a fire at the very top of Coral Reef Avenue where that big stand of eucalyptus trees is, and that's where the CUSD vacant parcel is right now. And it's vacant, so there's not houses there now, but you have to go off land to, I mean, there's no streets there right now, it's paper streets. How do you fight that fire? Do you call in the fire airplane that drops the red dye, or do you take a water tender up there? You know, that's the kind of thing I thought water tenders are good for. And or what if you're up on Montera Mountain where the Caltrans property is and you're out of paved road? Is that what the water tender is for? Or is that when you have to call the air support? I don't really know, so maybe you could just briefly say, why do people have water tenders in their fire departments?
We, I think to my answer to that, we a policy. And we said we need a fire attendant to do that, I think. And where it's used and how it's used is the professionals, the operations who do it. And if they say they need a water tender to protect the citizens of the coast side, boy, to me, that's where we're gonna go.
So it could be
but anyway,
in the suburban
we're just gonna-
location, in other words.
We're just gonna ask for additional information and go forward with it. The intent is that we'll go forward, but we just wanna make sure that we have all the information appropriate as well as maybe some other questions, okay? Yeah, and let's not get in an argument about the art, about color.
I didn't mean it for an argument, I just meant for a broad-based reason why you would have one in your department.
Okay,
Thanks.
all right, next item, number C. Review and request from Kevin Palmer, Chairman of the Pacific Coast Dream Machines, for support for the Dream Machines event this coming year. Chief West.
President Burke, I believe you had an unfinished motion.
I'm sorry?
Sorry, when I spoke initially there, that was in the question period of a.
Yeah.
a motion.
I'm sorry, what did I do before we did vote?
There was a motion to take action on.
I'm sorry, it was a motion to go forward, it was seconded. Jean, please.
Board Member Cockrell,
Yes.
Board Member Hannah,
Yes.
Board Member McKimmy,
Yes.
Board Member Cheryl,
Yes.
President Burke.
Yes.
Motion
No.
passes 5-0.
Yes. Thank you. Now tab 5, please, Chief.
Yes, we received a letter from the Pacific Coast Dream Machines regarding the planned events for April in 2026, 2027, 2028. They are seeking continued support from the Coastside Fire Protection District to provide fire protection services at their event at costs borne by the district. So this is the correspondence that we received from there.
Yeah, and the letter request is in our packet. I'm sure you've had an opportunity to read it.
Yeah, so we're just at this point, we're just seeking direction from the board on.
Does the staff support, continue supporting the?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
We've done it for, I don't know how many years.
Yes.
For many years. Is there any discussion?
Are they a 501c3?
Yes.
They donate to a 501c.
Yes.
They
Thank
they are not themselves,
Yeah,
but all of the proceeds go to a nonprofit.
Says it have a 501c3 status.
what was the question, Bruce?
Question is, are they a 501c3?
Oh, yeah.
And that is because
Well,
my understanding that our policy
They
was
do the benefit for that.
Okay.
we can relieve,
Is a benefit for the coast side adult, they don't have it happen with just, okay, yeah.
we can relieve the costs if they are a 501c3.
We don't, they post it as a problem.
But in this case, it's on the edge.
So this is not an ask for relief of a permit.
Yeah.
This is for the staffing of equipment to help support the event should there be an incident.
It's a-
So the permit is the separate topic. 2 meetings ago, we talked about with nonprofits.
Cynthia, the question of giving to just 501c3s has come up two or three times. In fact, we had a recommendation to turn down a request a month ago, I think it was. But on this Pacific Coast Dream Machines, the 501c actually belongs to the Coastside Adult Day. That's the one who receives the money on that. So I'm comfortable with that. But to have a policy that we give to only 501c3s, I think would be appropriate. And as far as I know, we don't have one. Okay.
Okay,
so maybe some further information. We typically will commit 2 fire engines minimum to this event. One will be staffed by the volunteers. They will be ready in a firefighting response ready mode in their gear, especially when this event has aircraft around. And then we will have one of our ALS, engines with the paramedic. we'll have them out there to assist, because I believe they have to pay for AMR to stand by. So then we will permit a resource out there to essentially assist with that coverage.
Do I have a motion to provide fire support for the years as requested 2026, 2027, and 2028 to the Coast Side Pacific Coast Dream Machines?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call, please, Jean.
Board Member Cockrell,
Yes.
Board Member Hannah,
Yes.
Board Member McKimmy,
Yes.
Board Member Cheryl,
Yes.
President Burke.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. Moving on, the Board of Directors and Chiefs report.
But we got one more, the authority and actions of wildfire prevention on the coast side.
There's none on the agenda.
Oh, D?
Yeah, D. Sorry, you discuss CFP responsibilities 30.
I'm sorry.
And
I did. I
actions
crossed it
completed
out.
outside.
Please. Thank you, Chief.
So as many of the board members know, and the public, that the LRA fire hazard severity zone was adopted as an ordinance by the district last year. So we're gonna be seeing some changes. Probably around January. I spoke to the city at the city council meeting for a few hours a month ago. Zone 0 is an extremely hot topic. That code has not been fully adopted yet, with the understanding and the hope that it's done before the new year. The district will not come out. Chief Griffin's shop will not be coming out on the 3rd of January and enforcing Zone 0 with a iron fist, as some folks may have felt was coming. It's going to be at least a 3-year phase-in that has a fiscal impact and many other impacts and tentacles. So as we work forward with Zone 0, we'll be communicated to the board and making sure we're transparent. Some of the things we've done is Chief Griffin's shop has put together a proposal for Chief West and I to review in regards to a product called Fireside, which will allow us to provide detailed inspections throughout the district, meeting the obligations we have in the very high within the district, which we have a large number of. That may require potentially additional positions, etc. So most likely at our next board meeting, we'll bring an item forward with that fiscal impact and look for the board for recommendation.
Thank you. Question, the whole wildfire issue. Anything?
Just like to comment that you did an excellent job, Chief Wilson, in front of City Council. It was quite a long period of time in the hot seat, and you represented us very well.
Thank you. I was not prepared for 2 hours. I think that's what it was last time. Yeah, it was a good confirmation, sentence confirmation or something. Yeah.
So now when they get to Chief Justice, you'll be ready to go.
Patrick, will the fire marshal have any comments relative to the general discussion of the wildfire?
No, just to mimic what Chief Wilson mentioned, we're looking at an additional 4,800 properties that'll need to be inspected over the next 3 years to meet the requirements moving forward. So we are looking at additional programs for tracking management of the inspections and self verification from the property owners to alleviate some of that impact to the shop. So,
Okay. Is there currently an ordinance that if somebody, for whatever reasons, refuses to let us inspect or do whatever needs to be done, is there penalties for somebody that
so as we do not have a set enforcement component for the unincorporated areas of the district, we route them to code compliance with San Mateo County, and within the city limits, we route them to code compliance for the city of Half Moon Bay as the enforcement component.
And I'll get off this thing, that the whole business of even cutting bushes and trees along the line, we cannot do it on state property. We can't, as I understand it, we can't do it on 92, we can't do it on the right of way and all that different things. You know, the restrictions on us, it seems to me, are not in the public's best interest. And I know you don't have an answer to this at Sacramento to do this, but it's put together very shabbily as far as I'm concerned, trying to really protect the interests of the citizen that goes there. Any comments? Anything else? Just on the well thought subject? Okay, thank you. Now, move along to the Board of Directors report, Finance Committee. In your packet is the finance spreadsheet, public document that's available to look at it and peruse. I just, it only includes the first third of the year, but I would just, couple of quick points that would be appropriate. We did establish and have a CalPERS exit established of $2 million that we worked on for a couple of months. And that's reflected in this spreadsheet, if you will. And we have received the first payment on the ERAF payment of $897,000. That's the other things that are in it. Any other questions on the finance? Okay, moving on. Volunteer Committee report, Director Coughlin, Director Hannah.
I don't have a report.
No report. No report? I'm sorry, no report?
No report.
Okay. Land and Structures Committee report. We talked about having Director McKinney act on this. Anything else that maybe sure?
Well, this morning, I thought I was gonna report to the board that our new living quarters was at our temporary station.
Yeah.
It was there for an hour, possibly. They weren't ready for it. And I don't know who pulled the trigger and said deliver a double wide mobile home to our property, but it was there for an hour and they left. So
What needs to be done? That was by just a couple of days ago.
compaction, or then why it was taking so long? It's been 2 months. I thought it was a 1 month project.
It was, the site was prepared for it and they coordinated the delivery. They left today because as they were trying to back on the property, the soil was too wet from the recent rain and they started sliding and almost lost one of them. So the drivers elected to abort.
Okay.
And then they are required to take the portals back to their destination of origin.
Sacramento.
No, I believe it's somewhere in the east.
Tracy or
Yeah. And so I had received a picture that they were being backed on the property, and then when I was coming over 92 to come to the office, I saw them driving up 92 going that way. And so I drove to the site and talked to the superintendent, and I saw that there was some damage from the attempts. And what the superintendent had advised me that they were confident they could fix that area, put a little bit of extra base rock down today with the hopes of having them attempt the delivery again tomorrow.
Where the apparatus are going, they dug it up, they take it, put it back, they dig it up, they put it back.
Yeah, they're still sorting that out. That was something that was addressed. It was initially in the design, it was it called for a too much of a slope. And then that was addressed, and they are currently fixing that. But this week, we were supposed to get the portable units and the generator. Then once those got on site, then the utilities were going to be connected. And then move on from there.
So where the apparatus is going to go, is that a drain system they're putting in?
I believe, I'm not aware of them adding a new drain system, and my intention or my understanding is they were leveling it, but still having enough slope to address the runoff.
Well, they're making a concrete vault on the upper side towards the Ethel garden.
I'll have to.
Pretty significant, like 2 feet deep, 2 feet wide.
But we do have, over the temporary site, we do have all the approvals,
Yes.
right? Okay.
So I can only, I'll never assume, but it looked like a drain. One right in the center, one off to the side.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not aware of that, so
Okay.
I'll have to find out.
Well, in the same vein, if you on the Land and Structures Committee, what's the latest idea when we're going to be prepared to go out for bid on the new station?
I still believe they're on track for early spring.
To go to bid?
I'm not 100% sure. So that they were with delivery of the portables today, they were the timeline that was conveyed to us was we can move into that facility early January and then vacate the current 44.
Here, I would find it helpful if from Sean or whoever it is that just some idea of when we're gonna be able to get some idea of when we're going to.
Update timeline.
Yeah, you know, when are we going out to bid? When's the acceptance of the bid? I think once we get the temporary facility taken care of, people are gonna be asking, you know, what's next? And we ought to be able to answer them. Okay, great. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Vegetation Management Committee, Director Cockrell, Director Hannah.
No report from me.
No report. Special District Association, Director Hannah.
No report. Sorry, no report.
ALS JPA, they have 2 meetings a year, and the meeting is coming up sometime in the spring. And so for the time being, although there's a lot of questions and changes being talked about, nothing will happen in 2027. Okay, emergency preparedness liaison report, Cynthia.
Oh, that was
Actually, it's
David Cosgrave, but I don't believe he's on here.
Chief Cosgrave? No report. CERT report, now Cheryl.
CERT report, we graduated 37 more COSIDE certs in November, which brings us to a total of 99 graduates for the year, which is more than any other CERT program in the county, possibly the region. The reason I had the privilege of watching you testify, Chief Wilson, was because CERT was invited to come on November 18th to City Council to be acknowledged for the value that we provide to the community. And we were surprised at that honor and thrilled to be recognized in that way. During that meeting, a city employee who was making a presentation later volunteered CERT to be a part of the home hardening education outreach to the public. So we have no objection. We want to be in support in any way that you find that we can support. We do classes all the time to educate the public in particular issues that they have the opportunity to deal with. So we just want to work very closely in tandem with the Protection Office as well as Chief West and Chief Wilson to be sure that we are providing the appropriate information with the appropriate people at the appropriate time. But we can do that here in smaller groups, or we can go to one of the larger venues that we have in Half Moon Bay to bring more people together to make a presentation to them. So this is a hot topic. A lot of people want to know, what do they have to do for their own properties? And what do they have to do if they want to sell the property? And realtors want to know what's going on, and people who own rental properties are also interested in learning what's happening. So this whole area of sharing information for what homeowners have to do, what their resources are, what the associated costs are, is something that'll be an interesting topic this next year, and we stand ready to help with that. We are especially moved this week at the retirement of Battalion Chief Ken Moore, who has been our liaison, CERT liaison, ever since Chief Cosgrave's retirement from fire services. And for years before that was our primary #1 person in the training office who helped at every occasion, every training, every event, all the scheduling, everything that goes on in terms of support from professional firefighters and volunteer firefighters and the district itself. So we cannot express our gratitude enough to Chief Lord for his 41 years or more. That number changes, but something around 4 decades.
And yeah, there'll be some additional things that Chief will add at the end of the meeting
Oh,
today.
See,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
mine. That's,
So thank you very much.
it's well deserved. Well deserved.
well, so,
And third, continue to impress. Keep it up, boy. Wow. Okay. Now we have a very lengthy attorney's report, Gene.
Yes, I have nothing to report, but I would like to wish the board, the community, and the staff a peaceful and a safe holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you, Gene. Thanks, Gene.
Fire marshal's report.
Good evening. For the month of November, 43 plan reviews and 32 inspections. We're estimating to close the year with a little over 400 plans and 350 inspections for the year. And we are 100% compliant on our mandatory inspections for 2025. And a report.
excellent.
Very good. Chief, did you wish to give your reports before we talk about,
Yeah, well,
all right. Chief Wilson.
all right, so October statistics. Roughly 200 calls in the district, all within the specified timeline for the ALSJPA. Same with November, roughly 200 calls and the same statistics. So consistency there. On the PARS report for October, we continue to see a strong gain of roughly $30,000 above our expenditure. However, in November, it's the first time that we have seen where we were pretty much flat with the return on the PARS account. So we'll be watching that as we move forward. Historically, we've usually gained almost 50% of the interest above what we expend each month. So we've been doing extremely well. But that's something we'll be keeping our eyes on with the economy and the climate. Let's see here. I'm going to turn it over before we recognize Ken to Chief West to talk about a fiscal challenge that we experienced over the last couple of weeks in the district, and go through that in detail so we're transparent on what happened and what we've done to remedy future situations that could occur like that.
Thanks, Chief. So we were unfortunately a victim of some stolen checks. And so I have a brief summary of the event, some timelines, security vulnerabilities that we have identified as a result of this event, and then actions taken to mitigate future risk. So on the morning of December 8th, we were notified, received an email from the county that they were notified by US Bank that 3 checks were discovered on dark websites where apparently they're stolen and sold to people who then try to fraudulently cash them. And we had 1 check in the amount of $147,375.40 that was written for Andrini Brothers, was deposited and cleared the deposit in a fraudulent account. So that morning, the county contacted us and they advised us that there was a customer at a US Bank branch in Union City, I believe, or one of the cities on the East Bay. They were trying to obtain a cashier's check for that $147,000 amount. And so the teller and the staff at the bank flagged it as potential fraud. They contacted their fraud department, who then contacted the county, reached out to us to see if it was valid or not. We advised them it was not valid. They froze the assets, and the assets were not put into a cashier's check. So that's the brief summary. Timeline events: December 4th, we wrote 25 checks for that week's batch of checks for payments of various invoices. On December 6th, Saturday morning, Michelle Ortiz took that batch of checks, physically deposited them into, or placed them into that drive-up mail receptacle at the Half Moon Bay Post Office building.
Yeah.
On the morning of the 8th, that's when we were notified of the 3 checks that were on the dark web and the 1 that had successfully cleared. So a total of 4 compromised checks out of the 25. Michelle was able to successfully place a void and a stop payment on the 3 checks that were on the front of those websites. And she was able, even though the check had cleared, she was able to place a stop payment on the 1 that was deposited, but ultimately she couldn't void it because it was already cashed. US Bank that day also froze the account that received the stolen check. And then Michelle filed a report with the Postal Service of the stolen checks, notifying them. And then she continued to work all day with county and US Bank to handle the fraud reporting and requirements to recover stolen funds. On the morning of December 9th, so the next day, we received confirmation that the funds were successfully returned and credited back into our account. So relatively quick turnaround, all things considering, and I believe this was attributed to the fact that they tried to cash the check and ultimately get a cashier's check from a US Bank branch. Had it been another institution, we'd probably still be trying to recover those funds. All of the voided and stopped checks were reissued on the 9th. And as of now, no other checks from that batch have been identified as being compromised, and there's people in place with the county and the bank that are currently burning those checks. Some of the security vulnerabilities that we identified through this, we were using traditional positive pay methods for issuing checks. So when we write a check, we provide a list to the bank that includes issued amount, issued date, and the issued check number. When somebody cashes one of those checks, the financial institution verifies the check to those 3 data pieces, and if those match, then the deposit will go through. So that's what happened with that check. The county recommended that we switch to a payee positive pay method. What that means is it still looks at the same pieces of information, but it adds the name of the payee, the person the check's going to, with their address. And so now that information has to be verified. The county had advised if we had that in place, that our check would not have cashed because they changed the name of the payee, but everything else was still correct. Our standard practice for mailing invoices includes, it's a standard practice for Michelle to use that drive-up mail receptacle that's located outside the building. And also the standard mailing envelope that we're using has 2 clear plastic viewing windows, which makes it completely obvious that a check is inside. Actions that we have taken to mitigate future risk. We have already started the process of switching to pay positive pay as recommended by US Bank and the county. That required us to give them some of our information, how we process the checks, who the responsible parties are, fill out a couple of forms, and that process takes about a week, and we're already a few days into it. So I would imagine by next week that process will be complete. Michelle will now physically go into the post office building to drop off our checks. That will be a new practice, and we will no longer use the envelopes that have the viewing windows, and we will go to a solid security envelope. Any questions?
They've been stealing out of that drop-in box
We
for
all
a
know
long
about
time.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we escaped any.
We have not, like, that check did clear and go into somebody else's account, but it has since been returned back to us. So as of right now, the district has not lost any money as it is.
Super. I think they
So
How did the county get involved? Did they cash our checks somehow?
Well, the county is, the accounts are kind of managed through the county and the tax collection office and county. So they maintain the credit registers, some of the back end stuff with the county, or I'm sorry, with our accounts is integrated into the county system for managing those funds. And so the US Bank contacts them first, and then we get notified.
Cool. Good thing they were on the ball.
Yeah.
I did ask, on behalf of the board, that a letter goes to the bank thanking them for their excellent service, catching and we will implement the new additional safeguards to ensure that it doesn't happen in the future, but people getting awfully smart some of the stuff to do. Chief, did you have any? We're gonna wait 1 second. Okay, we do. Let me just mention a couple of quick things in closing. I think the board has seen the presentation that the 2400 union made to the county proposing that they consolidate all the fire districts within the county. It was a kind of an awkward presentation. But certainly one of the members of the board who put it on the agenda and went forward with it. My interpretation as to watching the board was there are at least a couple of the supervisors that were very skeptical of the idea to go forward with it. And Sid, I might mention, called in and made a comments to the effect that that was not a good idea, particularly as far as the COSI, which we appreciate your comments on that type of thing. So that, but as far as I know, there's gonna be some kind of data collection going on for the county, and it's a sales effort by 2400, which is, legitimate to try to do that. Subsequent to that, the last item is, and I'm not sure that you all saw this, but on the local COSI paper had an interview that had a summary of what happens and comments from me and all comments from 2800 union leaders to do that type of thing. And speaking of my comments, there are a couple of things that I mentioned. And first of all, my comments very supportive of 21 CAL FIRE. We have gone through other unions before and had some very unsatisfactory comments. And in the editing that the writer did for my comments, if you will, he took out a couple of things that I think were rather critical as far as the good relationships we've had with CAL FIRE. One is that since we've had the contract with them, conservatively, the COSI residents, taxpayers have saved well over $30 million. Easily well over $30 million. A lot of savings financially have been through board actions, but the major ones have been through CAL FIRE, their contract. And secondly, what really has always been in the past a real headache for this district was hiring new employees. We would hire them, we would send them to school outside of Sacramento, and then what would happen? They never show up. They go to work for somebody else. So now we have excellent management, we have excellent people here, and we have a very, what I consider a very satisfactory organization that does great work. But nevertheless, that activity is going to go on, and I'm suspecting we'll see more of it in the future. That's it. With that,
Can I just say one other thing, Gary?
I'm sorry.
At that meeting, the supervisor that proposed that agenda item was gonna give $30,000 of Measure A money to back it up, and the proposal was that Union 2400 would also contribute a matching $30,000. Which, that's not what Measure K money is for.
If that it actually happened, did any money actually go into the pot?
And initially, they were all like kind of the cow watching the train go by until I spoke up and Ray kind of looked up and like, oh yeah, Sid reminded me. That won't work for my district. We're all CAL FIRE down on the coast. It's like, and Jackie Spear spoke up against it too.
Yeah, my main concern of something like that would be this would potentially prevent maybe another fire district within the county to say, we like that operation over the coast side, we'd like to join that operation. Which is, if this would prevent that, it would tie their hands from doing that. It would distress me.
I think he's on his way out. He's the board president. He was tossing them a bone to try to get them, on the front burner, and they wanted to get like a little handshake deal before he left. That's my interpretation of it. They should have just gone around to all the cities and made their own speech. And not,
years ago, San Carlos was discussing hiring CAL FIRE.
Yeah.
And that ultimately died. That was a city that was seriously considering doing CAL FIRE.
I just said we saved so much money, we built a whole fire station. We're about to build our second one, so.
What did our union here think when this was brought up, and what has been done since? And are they required to have a response?
CAL FIRE? I don't think they're required to have a response. but certainly
There's a response.
they have a
right
response.
there.
Chief Griffin is also the vice president for District Five. However, he's on state time right now in this meeting, so he can't speak for 2881. But if you guys would like to have a representative from 2881 talk at a meeting, I'm sure that we can facilitate having that in the future.
Yeah, I'd like
That's a
to.
great answer.
Look, let's,
I believe if you reach out, there are members of 2881 that would be happy to discuss and have conversation.
Like outside
Off
of board
duty.
meeting or here in this meeting.
You could have it here, or you could meet one-on-one with them, as long as you don't have a majority of the board meeting with them separately outside of the meeting. That
Grant Act, right?
I can call Chief Griffin on my own time, can I not?
you're more than welcome to follow.
In whichever capacity you want, that's fine.
I think you know how it feels.
You know, and I'm don't want to get into union things, but I've been involved with a number of them and so forth. And it doesn't surprise me that this would be an attempt. I mean, it goes on all the time. But, you know, in terms of our interest, if you will, man, I'll tell you what, we have just, I don't want you to hear this, but if you do, we have a solid organization financially and operationally here. And to try to include us in some kind of a county-wide activity, I think the citizens would rise up in indignation of what happened. That's my opinion.
I called it like I saw it. I called it a turf war. You heard
Okay. I think
All right.
that there's a Chief Wilson.
Ken, come on up. Ken, I never thought I'd be doing this. Ken has served 41 years here, which is amazing. Ken was a tow truck driver in Half Moon Bay, I think volunteering, and found that the career maybe was a little bit better on the side. So I'm just gonna, I didn't really have anything planned until I was jotting it down, but I met Ken when Coastside joined the Cal Fire family. I happen to be a training captain, so did Ken. So ipso facto partners right away. And just a testament of who Ken is there was, what do we need to do? It was great. We brought on target safety, I think is what it was called back then, right? It's now Spectre Solutions. Some people may love or hate that in the fire service. But we worked diligently together with that, trying to bring the north and south, now we call the San Mateo, Santa Cruz divisions together, breaking down that redwood curtain. One thing about Ken is often he doesn't shake your hand, he might give you a hug. Which is, you know, when we used to teach DEO together, that was one of the things that sometimes, you know, Ken might not shake your hand and give you a hug. I always loved Ken's stories of where they were living. Moved around a lot. I think now Temecula is his home. So I think for the district, for myself, Ken, we just appreciate you. I put here that I feel bad for the folks in training because you do way more than anybody knows that you do. So next Monday, we're probably gonna be like trying to find your phone number and call you to figure out all the stuff that you've been doing, but I can't thank you enough, Ken. And appreciation here from the district is a plaque recognizing your 41 years of service. And then on Friday, we will be having a function here to honor you on your last day.
Thank you so very much. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, if you want to sit in.
Thank you very much. I am just so incredibly honored to have worked with an amazing group of people over the years. I am also have the absolute blessing to actually work in a community that I grew up in, you know, and not just Half Moon Bay and Costa here, but all of San Mateo County. It's just been unbelievable. From the people that have worked with the stations to all the volunteer firefighters, but most importantly, my family. I loved what I did, and it came at a cost. I spent a lot of time away from home, so I'm looking forward. The last couple of weeks have been a series of laughs. You know, like, oh, this is the last time I'm going to teach a fire extinguisher class, but it's also a season of firsts.
So we could spend a lot more time with my kids. It's almost like that song, that Cat in the Cradle. All my kids are grown up and now I'm ready to hang out with them and they're busy. So, I'm looking forward to the next chapter. I'm gonna miss everyone here. You know, and just sitting over here looking around and it's like, I went to school with your daughter, I worked many years with Bruce and Patrick's one of my volunteers and the other board members and just the people in the room, you will all be very well missed. So thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, let me just say a couple of things that, from my perspective. Ken was here when I first came on the board, and what I would respectfully call some dark days that were going on. And there was an awful lot of infighting and various other things that happened in terms of operations and policies. Ken was an absolute rock through all of that time that he did. He performed so professionally, did not take sides on anything like that, did his job, and man, I am very proud of you and wish you well in your retirement.
Yeah.
Thank you. Without further discussion, no objections, we are adjourned.
Happy holidays.
Yeah.